Hi everyone, I am Katie, the Crafty Blog Stalker, and we are going to be making a front door welcome sign. These are totally trendy. If you don't have one, you need one, and I'm going to show you exactly how to make it. Now, if you're new to my videos, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you won't miss out on any of my upcoming tutorials. The supplies that we're going to be using to make our welcome sign is this large wood plank. I got this at my Hobby Lobby, but you could also get this at any hardware store. This one measures 4 feet by 9.5 inches. And then I also got this piece of wood trim here at my local hardware store. And then I'm going to be using this Works angle grinder, Works air sprayer with black air spray paint. I'm going to be using some white acrylic paint as well as some paper towels, some wood glue, and then I'm also going to be using a stencil using my Cricut machine. And I'll have the SVG file available for you so you can download the same file if you would like to use it. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is measure this trim piece so that it will fit your plank of wood. I have already done that. I'm going to turn it over, and I need to cut between those two pink lines. So I'm going to bring in my Works angle grinder, and I want to make sure that I'm wearing glasses. So I'm going to put my glasses on, plug in that tool, and I want to be cutting onto something so I don't cut into my board or my table. So this is just a scrap piece of wood. So I'm going to turn my dial all the way up, turn it on, and then turn it on there. And I'm going to hold this piece of wood. And then I can turn that off. And there is my trim. So now I have my trim in 2 separate pieces that will perfectly fit my wood plank. I'm going to turn this over because this is going to be the front side of my sign. And I'm going to glue on my trim pieces using some wood glue. So I'm going to turn this piece over, and I'm just going to apply a bead of glue all the way down. And then I have a wet paper towel handy just in case any glue seeps out of the edges. I can quickly clean that up. I'm going to turn that over. And just line up that trim with the edge of the board. And now we're going to do the same to the other piece. I'm going to turn it around though so I can see better on my end. Make sure I'm completely lined up. So same thing, apply a bead of glue all the way down and then line that up with the edge of my wood sign here. Now, while this dries, we're going to go to our Cricut and cut out the stencil. I've got the design all ready to go in Cricut Design Space. I need to select my material, which is Smart Vinyl, and then load my vinyl, and it is ready to cut. My stencil is all cut out, but I've got a good 4 to 5 inches of vinyl on here that didn't get cut that I don't want to waste. So I'm going to cut that off. So I'm going to find the line on the back, and then I'm just going to cut off the excess and save it so I can use it on a different project. So for weeding, there's a square around the stencil, so I can remove this piece first. Now, since we're going to be using this as a stencil, I want to remove the insides of the designs. There is our sign. So it's going to say, "Oh, hello. Did you text first?" Now that our wood trim pieces are dried on our wood sign, we are going to paint the entire sign. And we're going to do it with a white wash. So it's kind of thin. I want to still be able to see the grain behind the paint. So I've got a cup here with some water in it. And I'm going to take my acrylic paint, shake it up a little bit. And then I'm just going to pour some in there, a good amount. And there's maybe 1/4 of a cup of water in my cup. And I'm just going to stir it up, whoops, with the brush. And it's going to be super, super thin. And that's what we want. And then we're going to keep our paper towels handy so we can remove any excess. So we're just going to paint that on. And we're going to do this all over the sign. You want to make sure that you are getting all of the edges, and you can use that brush to really get in those little cracks on the trim. Now you want to let this dry completely before we move on to our next step. And I'm honestly going to let this dry and then add another coat because I want my white to be just a little bit darker. Our wood sign is completely dry, and I love how it looks with that whitewash, how you can still see the grain underneath. I love the whitewash technique. It's probably my favorite way to paint projects. And here is my stencil that we cut out on our Cricut. I've already got the transfer sheet on top. So now we just need to remove it from the backing. And we need to make sure that all of the little pieces, like the center of the letters, stick to the transfer tape. Now that we've got it away from its backing sheet, we're going to lay it on to our sign here. And it is the width of the inside of the sign, so we should be able to keep it fairly straight. Okay, we've got it down. Where's my brayer tool? There it is. There we go. That'll help us put it down nice and smooth. And then we're going to peel up that transfer tape. I'm just starting at the bottom here. Then we're going to come back with our brayer, and we're just going to go back around it. And we really want to make sure that the vinyl around the letters is good and stuck, because that is where our paint's going to go, is right around those letters. So if there's any bubbling up around the letters, then the paint can sneak underneath. Now to protect our edges, I've got some masking tape. It happens to be pattern masking tape, but it doesn't really matter. And we're going to put that over the sides just to keep us from getting any splatters on our painted edges. I've got everything taped off on my sign, so I am going to bring in my air sprayer. And first, I'm going to take off this little cap and put my ink inside and put the cap back on. I'm going to clean up that little bit that spilled out. There we go. And then I'm going to connect it to my MakerX hub. I'm going to turn the power on, and I'm going to aim it at my project. And then I am just going to begin at the top. And spray that paint through the stencil, that vinyl stencil that we made. So I'm all done airbrushing from my stencil. So now we're gonna make sure that this is good and dry before we remove it. So we're gonna wait about 15-20 minutes. Okay, I don't know what happened. For some reason, this camera turned off while I was peeling. So I just wanted to make sure and turn it back on. And let's keep peeling our vinyl. You guys, that paint sprayer did such a great job. You guys, this sign turned out so cute. Oh, hello. And did you text first? I love how this turned out. The paint sprayer, the airbrush, was awesome and amazing. It didn't seep under the vinyl, which happens a lot if you paint with like acrylic paint and use vinyl as a stencil. The acrylic paint will seep underneath the vinyl stencil. And the air sprayer didn't do that at all. So I am hooked. Thank you so much for joining. While you're here, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming tutorials. And you can also always find me at my home base at craftyblogStalker.com. Now I'm going to go put this at my front door. Bye everybody. Happy crafting.